OPC, with a batlet held tight with glee. Hunt OPC, his battle cry. Stars and moons light up the sky. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight. Community, our guiding light. Battling communists with cheer. Reduces courage, knows no fear. With every clash and mighty roar, victory's prize forevermore. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight. Community, our guiding light. Battle anchor shift does soar. Reducing its heart and core. Galactic winds, they lead our course. Unity, our driving force.
Give me just a second, everybody. Just posting that we're live.
Unity, our driving force. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight. Community, our guiding light. Unity, our driving force.
Whee! All right. Let's rotate this screen. Oh, we're here. Look at that. We made it happen. The power of technology. We can just do live edits in the middle of things. Awesome. And you think about it, what we do here today, like me interacting with you, this would have been like mind-blowing technology when the original series first came out. Like absolutely insane. So, in that way, Star Trek has helped us progress to a wonderful world, even if that wonderful world is playing a game on the internet and spending way too much of our money on it. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to go over several things. Obviously, I want to give you an update on the event store loot, which hopefully y'all are pretty happy with. We have definitely confirmed over 500,000 free-to-play loot, assuming you're completing your SMS events and everything. Shout out to Quasel and Tarpitude, who have been helping keep the spreadsheet updated, and even me going in there to update things, only for me to bork things up and break them. That's what I do really well. So we've got that done. Let's see what else we got. We've got, well, new content coming next month. What could that be? Oh, maybe. Well, it's a little bit early for those hints, but we'll say there is some things that coming. Also, it's hilarious that I just mentioned the event store loot, and then I see Tarpitude pops up in the sheet. So, see you, lady. Whether you're ignoring work or whatever, I see you. Anyway, yeah. Will they add things to the event store? No, Shane. They've actually already done that. They did that week 1. So that's how they've been doing the event store a little bit differently this time around, is they're taking a lot of the suggestions that we've been asking for previously and adding them into the next event store. So the days of us getting, I'm not saying it can't happen because this is still, well, it's Scopely. And I don't want to pretend that it's not. That said, we are likely not going to see many more updates of like random insertions into event stores in the future. Again, not to say that I think that's bad, but they're just preemptively doing it. So how we used to do it was, hey, here's what the players are asking for. Let's get it in. Now, do I still recommend saving your stuff to the end? There is value in that, but that was one of the big prerequisites of why I was so vocal about saving your currency, because you didn't know if they were going to add things. Seems to like that is a thing of the past. We'll see, though. I don't want to say that with absolute certainty because, again, this is still a Star Trek Fleet Command game, a Scopely game, right? and Scopely Games being consistent. Shout out, by the way, to the 4th episode of our podcast. If you like the podcast or if you want to check it out, it's on our website, revjuice.com. Myself and Alex, we're talking about battle passes because Scopely bought Pokemon Go, and what's getting released here in June? They've got a special pass. So we talked about that and more on the podcast if you want to check it out. Forbes says not really a benefit now due to the AOBs. Yeah, the AOBs are, well, it depends on if you enjoy the AOBs or if your alliance demands that you do it. I think the tricky part is, and here's why it still has some value. You want to know how much currency you're going to end up with, because a lot of the big name things, let's just say you want to go after one of those mirror primes. What's 150,000? Maybe you need the Fringy Whip. Maybe you need the FC slot. All these things are big chunks, and you need to know how much you're getting. So if we know we're getting 500,000, but we don't know that until the final week and how we're going along with our process, you kind of want to have like a reserve. So maybe you get some of those big items and then you pick up other things. So it's just changing how we approach. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but we're changing how we approach event stores. And, long-winded answer to the question. Yeah, it's not really something where I anticipate a lot of things getting added, but it can still happen. There can still be a really loud cry for something. Let's say in the next event store, the special ship we have right now does not appear, right? Or in this case, it'd be with the Eviscerator. No, not the Eviscerator. Crap. What's the one right before the one we just did? So it's usually you got to wait 2 event stores for the next one to come out. GS31. So let's just say the next event store doesn't have the GS31. Well, then all of us will rise together to fight the machine and get the GS31 added. But I expect it to be there because they have been moving in that direction to make the event store more consistent and more generally valuable. So my expectation is for the GS31 to be in the next event store. If it is not, then we will rise together and fight the good fight. So Seth, good to see you. Welcome in. How much could Scopely make on an Enterprise from Wrath of Khan? A buttload. Probably could have, but you know what? They made a buttload on the Reliant. The Reliant sold more than any other special ship since STFC statistics was tracking, whether that is with Chrono, who runs it now, shout Chrono, or Mend, who left the game. I think it did quite well. Would it have done better with even more? Maybe. And are there more ships coming in the game? Yeah. I've already seen one. So don't worry. If you like special ships, more up your alley. Don't worry. This is still Star Trek Fleet Command. Like I said, this game's gonna get you your stuff. Major Samuel says event stores have been brilliant the last month or 3, with special ships finally coming in with a reasonable time, not years like back in the day. And I agree with that, Samuel. And I want to really, emphasize that this is the result of you, the players out there, speaking up, right? When I tell you that if you come together as a group and shout really loudly, they have to listen, right? I know there is a very popular thing where they only listen to the VIPs, but here's the truth of it, and the VIPs know this as well. If there is no free-to-play, like the free-to-play get frustrated and leave, then the game dies. As amazing as many of the VIPs are, and I say this truthfully because we have some VIPs who support people like me, Samo, Loop, very much appreciated. But they are drastically outnumbered, right? There's a lot more of you, a light spinner, or free-to-play than there are of them. And if y'all all cease to exist, well, the game goes away. So Scopely is incentivized to, yes, obviously help those payers, but they also have to keep everybody else happy. So making the event store profitable, which is one of the things that we argued for, and we have gotten that this year. In fact, great opportunity. Let's go ahead and put on the screen what we've had in this event store so far, but also event stores in past. Last year was arguably the worst year for event stores maybe ever. Here we at. So 2024, you see we got a lot of event stores, but generally really low payouts, right? 310, 300,000, 169. That was Mirror Part 2 was really rough. And 287 and 209. So we had a lot of event stores, right? But not a lot of payouts. So far this year, 401, 439, which was back at Section 31 Part 2, and then 517 so far for where we're currently at with Wrath of Khan. So we had to really argue for that. And if you remember when we were making those arguments, there was pushback from Scopely. Why do you need it? You have a event store every 2 months. You don't need 400K. And through time, through y'all, through people like JB existing, just got to give a shout out to JB because he's here. You got to change, right? So this is the exact type of thing that hopefully y'all see has real tangible product of your griping and complaining if it's directed in a healthy manner. Here you go. So 500K in the event store. If anything, I'm worried they're going to be like, dang it, that was too much, and scale it back. But even if they did, and they only gave you 440, it still would have been a fantastic event store. So great event store loot, great additions to the event store, and that to me helps make the month better, even though there were things in the month that I found troublesome or problematic or annoying. That certainly is a huge positive. Hopefully all of you are enjoying. And even if you didn't do all the events, this is still leaving you wiggle room where if you did not do every event that this game has, you still probably end up with a lot of loot. So good stuff. OGOP says hopefully they can add the temporal particle to an upcoming event store or Grandmaster / Alliance tournament soon. So another thing they have done quite well in the past years is prime sourcing. And yeah, there are plans for some more of those coming. Now, kind of like with the IA, there's not always ones that you want coming the quickest, but there are more things. So that's good. Brigadier Jones has been focusing on some of the primes of the last of my event loot. Got the relativity this month as well. Congratulations. If you are out there and you haven't watched my video, spoiler, one of the things I'll talk about is the value of speeding up specialty ships, especially for G3, G4 type of players, to get those acquisitions done so you can then start working on the content itself. It's because a lot of the new loops have been very beneficial in terms of what they pay out, like the Vindicator. Is it worth having? Like, you don't really need to use the Vindicator for anything, but you want to have its refinery, and to do that, need the ship. So, good ideas. Good ideas. I'm not looking forward to Server 92 and 86 merging. Why, Dustin? I don't honestly see mergers as that big of a deal. The only people that really is going to affect is the upper alliances and territory. And, well, territory needs a rehash. It'd be really, really good, Scopely, if there was a territory improvement on the horizon. Be really nice. We'll see what that looks like. I have so many options that have been maxed out by my event store this time around. That's good, right, Matt? Here's the only drawback to this. In about 6 months, Matt's going to come to me and tell me how terrible the event store is because he has everything in the event store. Samo's going to come to me and be like, Rev, this event store sucks because she has everything in the event store, right? So the thing is, Scopely has to keep with the method. Like, they have to keep releasing things in the event store, right? So that things get gooder. We got to keep getting gooder, right? I know it's usually something we talk about in our War Thunder stream, but you know, they have to make sure that while they're doing these good payouts, they keep updating the event store like they have been doing. Again, giving credit to them. They've got to keep doing that so that you don't run into the, well, I've got 400,000 currency and now I'm having to buy, you know, uncommon crystal at a horrible payout. Well, that would be a worse one to buy. Uncommon gas at a horrible payout, just simply because we've got nothing else to spend on. So just something to keep in mind, old overlords who be listening. We appreciate you, but you got to keep it going. All right, don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and log in Mission Key. If you have not pulled your Mission Key, this is your reminder for the day. Go do it. It helps out your alliance. Remember, there is, 24,000? Is that what it is? Event store loot in that AMS. So make sure you and your alliance mates are pulling it. Bug them. You want to max out that AMS. That's one way a free-to-play can help yourself and help your group doing the AMS. It's literally just, hey, have your Scopely ID, log into the website, click a button. Takes 30 seconds. I get it. You don't want to go to the website. You don't want to spend money. I'm not even telling you to spend money. I'm just literally saying, go to the AMS, get your currency. It matters. It matters. Let's see. Samo says, I wish I could ever get to that point. Could finally just spend everything on officers. Hey, look, shout out to Panda who quoted me in the VIP magazine. Officers are forever. But at the same time, when you are having to choose between special ships, officers, primes, I mean, pay only things, it's a tough choice, but it's a good thing that you have that choice to make. So that's a solid. Never Close Your Eyes says, worst event. What event would that be? Never Close Your Eyes. What event would that be? You can't just say worst event. You got to hit me with it. Hit me with all the goodies as I do all my augment pulls. Working on my way to getting the USS Reliant free to play. Evening, Demon Chris. Good to see you. Says, I'm happy with the event store currency amounts. My only worry is that Scopely making things more expensive instead of limiting the currency. I mean, I wouldn't think that's going to happen. They haven't given any precedent that that's going to happen, but is that something that you can worry about? Yeah. I mean, I understand worrying about things. Completely understand that. So, yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to grab just because this came up, it reminded me of a great OPC hit I got yesterday. I'm trying to grab it. Yeah, I'm going to brag about my OPC hit, but it was a really good hit. If y'all haven't ever seen my OPC hits, y'all know I love hunting, and I love hunting. But here's what I hunted. I hit a level 70. Y'all, the OPC I got in augment space. Chef's kiss. You're about to see an insane amount of good, juicy wonderfulness. Hold on, let me put it on the screen. Oh no, I just jacked up my camera. Oh my Lanta. You would think I was a professional at this point, but nope, still amateur hour. All right, here you go. You ready, ladies and gentlemen? Bam! That is my augment hunt yesterday, OPC. That's 4 million rares, 4.5 million uncommon, 20.5 million common, and I actually didn't get all of it. Right? I had to take out my NX-01, which had the largest cargo of my attack ship that could make this hit, fly all the way out, and hit this big level 70 whose Reliant was juicy OPC. Juicy. My land. I had to brag about it. That is a hit. Like, Rev's gonna be double pulling for an easy 2 weeks now. Hey, that's awesome. This is why I tell people go hunt the Reliant. Like, hey, what's he gonna do? Raid my base? They did raid my base, and I didn't care. I was like, all right, cool, raid it. Take all that bar still I don't need because I'm not moving anywhere. And then when I do move to Sigma, I need Sigma. I don't need this. Just keep it moving. I don't care. Wow. Insane. Bragging rights. Wonderful. But anyway, that's why we hunt OPC Reliance. You know, OPC's OPC, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's how I'm getting all these pulls in. Now I still need to go do the grind so I can improve my rep because I've not hit 60 million rep like many of you probably have. We've already got G4 players who have hit 60 million rep and are unlocking free-to-play Joaquin, free-to-play Khan, which I think is fantastic. I've not gone that far, but I am working on what I can control, such as getting my Glavin, which I'm only a couple days from that, and then we're gonna have a special video about taking that Glavin, a little special trick to max it out day one. And I'm really excited about that as well. Yeah, really excited about it. We'd love to see a slider on the material converter. I'd love to see sliders on everything. Everything needs a slider. Everything. We have my Glavin. I'm only 8 away. That's 4 of those pulls. 2 more days plus today. I'm excited. What level power is your Rotaran Enterprise D? I maxed my Rotaran by only 2.1. My Rotaran is right at 2.8 right now. I think both the Enterprise D and the Rotaran are 2.8. So, but yeah, here's the Glavin. This is going to give me another 60% ISO immediately. I cannot wait to see how much that improves my play in the PvP arenas. So, very excited about that. Been prepping for that. We'll have a video on it. Short answer for because y'all hit the live streams. Always appreciate y'all hitting the live streams. Once you unlock it at tier 1, it gets added in right here before the Book of Kostomogen, meaning you can spend temporal disruptors on it to upgrade it and get the parts you need, and then you'll spend remnants to max it out. So literally all you got to do is get the Glavin tier 1 from the augment faction, and then from there you max it out. Absolutely worth planning for. ISO still very relevant in today's game. Very relevant. Welcome in, Ed. We're good to see you. Thor says, I've maxed out the con skill tree free to play. That's awesome, Thor. Congrats to you, man. What level are you, if you don't mind me asking? We're going to be doing our player reviews and player account reviews today. So feel free to get ready for that, y'all. And also, we're working on our G6 checklist and our G5 checklist. If you're out there and you have, hey, Rev, there's certain things that I think you should do before you do these different things. Like, for example, on my G6 checklist, I strongly encourage people that they want Ops 60 artifact gallery, right? If you have something on that list, feel free to send it to me. Thor 69, very nice, Thor. Very nicely done. The lowest I've seen is a level 48 that I think is close to, in terms of maxing, they don't have all the priority 1 currency, but in terms of like shards and rerunning the missions. But either way, impressive to be getting on those runs. Doesn't matter what level you are, it's fantastic. Kyle says, making the ability to get Joaquin and Khan free to play via a long grind has been super nice. Agreed. 100%. I think it's one of the things they got right this month. And well, these past 2 months is art. I feel like they got it right. There's definitely things I've said that they've missed, but that's one of the things that they got right, in my opinion. So yeah, we're going to do that. And then of course we'll do player account reviews. So I think it's going to be a fun day, fun episode. We're already 20 minutes in, but yeah, good stuff. If you would do me a other huge solid before we get into that, feel free and please invite your alliance mates in. We're going to be doing this on Twitch later. We're going to be doing this now and every Wednesday, really trying to help players improve their accounts. And the best way to do that is for you to invite your alliance mates in, help them help you. John, good to see you. Farm Sigma speedups in Mirror Universe. That one is okay, but the problem is most people aren't gonna be able to do that. There's a lot of steps needed to be able to reach like Mirror Terex. Now you can reach some other places, it isn't as good. But you are right that if you can do that, that'd be fantastic. There are a couple places you can do it. Like for example, you can do it in the silent systems right now. So if anybody wanted to head out to the Christmas tree and like I can head to the 63s and I can farm the 15-minute speed ups here. Not necessarily super profitable, but it is an option should I want to do it. Tabby, good to see you. It is an option should I want to do it, but really difficult. Warp range ends up being a big problem for where the juicy ones are, which is here and needing, warp range. Sorry. Because it's not, is it 800? I thought it was 900. But anyway, it depends on where your ships are going to be. All right, I have to send it on out there. Thought it was 900, but 800 is actually not too bad. In the grand scheme of things, people out there with warp, 150 going, oh, what do you mean that's not too bad? What's the chance an Ops 44 can earn epic tokens from the augment loop? Depends on how much you hunt the traders. Simple answer. How much you want to go out here and hunt the traders? Good to see you, Gary. Welcome in. Can we get a G7 checklist? Yeah, I can. G7 checklist is pretty easy. So to get ready for G7, you need to have your Amex Black card ready. You need to have your MasterCard ready as your backup, and then your Visa debit card, preferably as your tertiary one. But to prepare, have all three of those cleaned out. Make sure all the debts are paid out so that you're ready to spend $150,000 as soon as G7 rolls out. That's how you prepare for G7. And if you've not done that yet, Chad, like I said, make sure that Amex, look, you remember yours are made of metal, like all mine's made of plastic, right? Look, bendy. But yours that make like the actual tink tink sound because they're metal, you fancy folks out there, just make sure that all the debts are paid off on it so you can just start buying packs immediately. It's gonna be great, right? Just buy them packs. And my lent, let me tell you, when it comes out, it's gonna be pricey. All you folks here in G6 right now and like, oh, Rev, it isn't that bad. Yeah, it's because G7's going around the corner. And just like G5 scrapping is going to come out, and I already know y'all going to be screaming from the top of your lungs how terrible G5 scrapping is. Got to remember that G4 scrapping took years of efficiency researches to make it into what it is today. So, good times. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, for the spending spree. It's going to be a spending spree for those who choose to go up at a G7. Now, if you choose to wait it out, that's all good. Why are we running these? I mean, sure, fine. I don't even have one to launch, but I'll send a ship. But anyway, somebody asked about my retard, and here's my retard right now, 2.8885854472. One of my goals is to get this over 3 billion. Before going into G6. That is one of my personal goals. Does that mean that you need to do it? No, not necessarily. That's just one of my personal goals. So this is the Nemesis, or the retards as somebody asked, because if I said the Nemesis, they probably would be confused. But we have it named the Nemesis because Nemesis was kind enough to get us this beautiful, almost said a word I probably shouldn't say on YouTube, beautiful D7 skin. But 3 bill is how big she'll be before we go into G6. Sounds like a phone number. It does sound like a phone number, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It has the same number of digits as an American phone number if you're including the area code. Chris says G6 has been a grind. The idea of G7 scares me. Here's the thing. G7 is very predictable. We know exactly what it's going to look like in the path because unless Scopely changes it, they did the exact same thing with J4, G5, and G6. There was no difference, right? In terms of the timetable it took to progress through it, how much it cost was all about the same. Right? So that's why I'm telling you, get out your Amex card because just like when G6 rolled out and there was an event that cost literally $100,000 to complete, that same thing will exist in G7. So for the rest of you who are enjoying the game in G3, G4, and G5, with most of you being G4 players, don't worry about it. Keep having fun. Enjoy your game. Enjoy your game. All you need to do. So here's what we are going to do. Since we're talking player levels and prepping, let's start with where your accounts should be. Is anybody wanting to jump in? Let's do some high G5s just because we've been mentioning G6. Are there any G5s, especially upper G5s, that you want us to take a look at your account, talk about it as a community? What are things you could be missing, improving on, etc.? Drop it in. Drop it in. Also want to grab mini chats. The power of your retard sounds like a phone number. I need to have that on a pillow. Samuel says, remember, Exela has a $10,000 limit per day. So if other means of payment available, like the Google Store, Apple Store, PayPal, whatever you can do. Major Samo has got her full-on shill hat right there, and Scopely is just salivating at that comment right there. Technically, they're not, because Scopely wants every purchase you make to be through Exela, because Scopely makes way more profit through Exela. But yeah, if you didn't know, Exela cuts you off at 10K, and I've had many a whale come to me very upset that they could not spend more than 10K in a day. So if you didn't know, now you know. Prepping for G7, 10K limit a day. So those fraud departments, man, they take it pretty serial. They take it pretty serial. So the first one we're going to grab is going to be Gradumacated, just because he happens to be level 60. So Gradumacated, shoot me your name, Discord it. Remember, got to do it on Discord. So, gotta do it on Discord. Hit me up. Let me know what questions you have, thoughts you have, what you need. And remember, everybody, don't message me unless we call you out, because then my DMs just get flooded. So, Graduated, shoot me a Discord message of your account name. We'll pull it up. We'll talk about it and some things that I would recommend maybe you go after. And then, of course, we'll use the wonderful STFC statistics to check these out. So, 10K a day made your soul hurt? Yeah. Like, more money than I've ever held in my hand, and they're just blowing it a day. And I said, hey, but that's how they want to spend their money, as long as they're not spending my money, because I ain't got 10K to spend, right? I got $500 credit card bills I'm paying off. So shout out to you spinners out there. Love that you're living and enjoying life. Just do it responsible. Alexis says the thing someone was crying they couldn't spend more than 10K. Well, there was just things they wanted, and they had purchased all these other things, not realizing that it limited what all they could do. So, yeah. It'd be like that sometimes. All right, Gradumacated, what is your name? That's what I need. What is your name? Is it actually Gradumacated? Here, I guess I'll just type it in and see. It is Gradumacated. Okay. That's easy. And then ask whatever question you have. Like, do you have a question about where you're at, when you should go up, etc.? So you are currently ranked 274. Let's put this on the screen. You are ranked 274 of all level 60s, which is not bad. You're about 40 million power behind me. That means that you've definitely got your G5 epics up. Your G5 epics are definitely well built. I would assume at least one of them is maxed, but probably not all three. So, you shoot me your questions, but just looking at this, you've probably got a lot done. Little things that you probably maybe have not done yet. Do you have the Glavin unlocked? I think the Glavin helps out a lot future content. Are you prepping for the future? So for example, like I said, we're making our G6 checklist early. Whoops. Bring this back over here. You know, we'll just leave the questions part up. It'll be like a teaser. It's a teaser for next time. You can't see this part. You can only see this part. But like, are you prepping for the Selkie? Do you have the faction credits? Are you prepping for hazards? Are you grinding Sigma speedups in the Mirror universe, or are you grinding them in the Silent universe? Have you completed your masteries? Are you grinding rep in Mirror space? Because remember, the next rep lock from 15 billion is 500 billion. All big things to have. Enterprise D is tier 9. Rotaran and Daredex are tier 4 or 5. So I'm actually surprised, Graduated. I actually expected you to say that your main ship, the Enterprise D, was going to be maxed out. So I would personally, and this is just a personal thing, I recommend taking it as high as it can go. I recommend maxing one out because it's become so easy to do free to play in the game. I was actually talking to several other G6 content creators, and they were like, Rev, why would you recommend somebody get a tier 10, G5 epic? You can go to level 61 and do it quicker. And my rebuttal is, nay, you can do it literally day one of hitting 60 if you're following Rev's teachings, right? So whether that's scrapping a Coronar, the ISSJ, and then the Enterprise E, whatever you want to do, The Enterprise D is really easy to max out, thus giving you that warp 900 warp range you really want to have, which is why I was talking about Mirror Terex, is you really want to have 900 warp range from your main ship before you go into Sigma, which you already should have. But maxing the Enterprise D has become very easy to afford to do. So I encourage people to do it. Also would encourage you, if you're not already, this is what I would recommend. Again, just trying to help you out on your account, not sure what you're currently doing. Assuming you're not doing it yet though, because you've only got one of these. But if you have two ships that are high tier, I really recommend you go over to the Crenum area and jump up to the 62s. So I actually farm the 62s in my Enterprise D and my Rotar, and it's more profitable than doing the 60s with the Relativity. Now, if my Relativity had the warp range, I would do it. But, you know, having two high tier G5 epics allows you to grind this and up tier it. Not to mention, one of the other goals I would like for you to do, Graduated, is hopping on over here. Personally, I think you, as a G5 epic, should be able to grind 62s before you become a Sigma player. My goal in all of this is I always want to prevent people from experiencing pain and hardship. The goal of the game is to create frustrations, a lot of times via grind, that incentivizes you to spin, to catch up, or to overcome. I try to make you really strong so that when you enter into the new level, you don't experience any of those pain points. That way, if you decide to buy something, it's, hey, I bought the skin for my Rotaran, turning it into the Nemesis, because that's where my money's going, because I don't need to buy the fancy new Chaos Tech to make this hostile easier. So that's another goal I would set for you, Graduated. Can you hit the 62s? And I don't mean just like hit one of them. Can you grind 4 or 5 of them? Keep in mind that it is true. Once you go into G6, there are a lot more researches that become available that can make things quite nice. So personally, one of the goals that I have for any player wanting to go into G6, can you go here and win? If the answer is no, then you're not far enough. If the answer is yes, check that box. That is probably a good step on you're ready to go. Like I said, we'll have the G6 checklist just like we had the the G4 checklist, and I'm also doing a G5 checklist just to help people along. For those who don't remember, here is my G4 checklist that I made. One second. This video is already out, but G4 checklist, you see all the different things I want people to prepare for and then understand what's about to hit. G4 has a lot more. Now I'm attaching videos to each one. Same thing with the G6 checklist, except I'm going to be including other content creators. I've got Tiberius videos. I'm trying to get Lube to give me some videos because I want to plug other content creators who provide really good information. So this checklist is something that anybody can refer back to. And if you're a G4 player and had no idea this checklist existed, well, good news. Well, hold on. I can do an editor. Yeah, okay, just a viewer link. Here, I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat. Keep in mind, there's a G6 one and a G5 one coming, and we can update it as need be. I'll probably also add it into the master operations sheet because we try to keep a lot of things centralized in that location. But Graduated, if you don't have any other specific questions though, those would be the main things that I give you as milestones to reach. Truthfully, with you being around the top 250, I mean, you're really at the top of level 60 anyway. You clearly have more things you can do research-wise. I don't want to like enforce my paradigm of like be the best at your level before you go up. You're clearly one of the tops as it is. It just comes down to like, how far do you really want to go with that? You know, me personally, I want to go as far as I can go because that's just how I am, right? I like being at the very top, but even now, my max rank, I think, is 634 million. If we actually go back to the front page, we can show y'all where I'm at for level 60s. Here we go. Uno momento, por favor. So if you scroll on down, I am at right here. So this account that y'all see all the time is right here at 79, with the top account being 784, 150 million more. And I actually fought faster than you in arenas a couple weeks ago. I mean, we're talking about one of those players that's got 400% ISO and everything maxed. Absolutely nutso insane. So, Graduated says his goal is to be top 50 galaxy-wide for G6. And see, that's one of the things that I have as well, which is why I'm pushing so hard to get myself up. That's why I've maxed out my Enterprise, the USS Timmy. That's why I've maxed out the Rotaran, the Nemesis, and why I'm maxing out the Dare decks, because those are some of my goals as well. So, But those are some milestones for level 60s that I would really encourage, because at 60, you have to be looking forward to Sigma. Like, that has to be what's on your mind and on your list here in the future. You got to be looking ahead to it, got to be preparing for it. If you're not, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? So if you're 60, some big ones there. We're also going to do some other players, so don't worry. We're not just focusing on people going to Sigma, but we'll grab a couple others. I'm just trying to grab this because I'm going to go launch some of those Amadas out in Zindy space, because remember, I'm always harping on that. You need to be pulling these chests very often. Yoinky, good to see you. First time I'm able to catch your stream since I'm here as a 56. Is it possible to 5 out of 5 the elite solo waves? Which ones are you referring to? Are you referring to the G4s or the G5s? Can you do it on the G5s? Maybe if you've tiered up the GS31 pretty far and you have maxed out 256s. And then you would still need Cerritos and Titan boosting. But if you've done all those things, is it possible? Yeah, you'd also need really good officers, FTs. Is it possible? The answer is yes. Is it easy? No, not at all. I have to boost at level 60. So you would have to be an absolutely stout level 56 to pull it off. But I'm not saying it can't be done. It could be done. You would have to have maxed out 56s. You would also need to have better things than I do. For example, one of the reasons I'm harping on the Glavin and picking it up now that it's free to play is because it's going to give me a huge boost in isolytic, right? There are level 56s who've got 250, 300% ISO damage, right? That gives them significantly more opportunities for winning. I also want to point out that Meme's correct. Another thing that you're going to most likely need at 56 is in the event store, you currently have the Mirror Prime. Now, I've already claimed it, but it's in the new editions. There's a Mirror Prime in here. You're going to want to spend that Mirror Prime currency on the Wave Hull Health Prime in the Mirror Universe, right? You're going to need that so that you can then have 5 chances for round 5 versus 3 chances. And then it's going to be really difficult. Can it be done? Yes. I love to shout like Dwoo says, you're better than you think you are. At the same time, to do that as a 56 would require a lot, to the point that unless you specifically just want to be the person who's done it, I would not recommend a 56 bother with that. Like, don't stop your progression at 56 until you beat the G5. No, you can do that at 60. Yeah, you can do that at 60. So again, just personal thoughts there. Definitely good, but whoa. Sorry, I had to remember to add that to the list. Hey, Tobe, great to see you, my friend. Welcome on in. Willie says, bring on incursion so I can whoop some butt and upgrade my subspace relay in War Room. Yes, War Room is another way to get that currency, that isolytic damage and defense, even if it's not that much because they've added in better ways. Still, I'll take anything I can get. I'm only a level 26 here, and that's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Which is why I'm so big on the specialty passes, by the way. I truly believe at this point in the game today, these passes are worth more than the regular battle pass. Like, I really do believe that the territory pass is worth more than the regular battle pass. If I could afford it, I would buy these on my accounts. So, yeah. Any reason to not move to 54 from 53? No, if you think you're ready to start moving towards 56, remember the main camping spots in G5 are 53, 56, and 60. If you feel like you're ready to start that process, and we can take a look at your account, we're about to do another player account review. We just did Graduated. We can definitely do that. So, Tome says I just got pounded with rain, so you get to actually catch today's stream. Well, I would say that's great, but obviously your work really requires you to hope that it's not pounding down rain. So I'm sure you've got a fun job after the rain is completed, but I appreciate you stopping in. All right. Admiral Pegasus says, my tier 12, level 45 Enterprise D can smack level 60 augment. Now I have a maxed Harry Kim below decks. Very nice. Congratulations. Definitely got to keep working on getting that level up. On my low level account, my G3 account, I left my Burrell out farming XP all night because it's maxed and it is just dying to get its way up there. So After I got all my primes, says Kal-El, out of the event store, I'm working on the Echo Beam projectile. I mean, you are right that every little bit helps. I will say that, again, you're right. You're right. Every little bit it helps. Echo Beam giving you 5% more ISO. How much is the Echo Beam? Because, man, it's only 5%, but how much is it? You need what, 80 shards? So it's 160,000. Is it 80 shards or does it need 120? Somebody tell me real quick before I have to go look it up. Because I'd have to go to the refits menu. Does it need, it only needs 75. Okay, so it needs 150K. 150,000 event store currency for 5% more ISO. Honestly, I might do that. Keep in mind that I'm a very PvP focused player, so I need every bit of ISO I can for my PvP arenas. It might not be great advice for everybody else, but honestly, that's a tough one because I'm also going for my Dolomite. Oh, that's a toughie. I was wondering where to camp, 39, 40, or 42. 39 and 42, right? So if you go to 40, you're in G4. My goal is to have people strong at 39 and then move them to 42. That's my goal. Stefan says he just got it himself. That's a tough one. Here's how you settle the debate, though. You make a list of everything that you're looking for. So if you're like me, you're saying, hey, I need more ISO. Well, hold on. Go into your specialty currencies. What would benefit more? Do you have the ISO that comes with the Prime Dolomite? Now, there's an argument that, hey, maybe don't use Prime Dolomite because there's free-to-play sourcing for that. I don't know what Ginger content creator said it. He's probably an idiot. But remember, there's an ISO Prime here as well to help boost that up. And while there absolutely are more primes and more sourcing for Dolomite, there's also like a dozen primes. So you got to debate that. Here, I'll pull up the prime list. Don't worry, y'all. We're going to do another account. We just have really good topics coming up. And I don't want to ignore people's topics. But if we go to our Dolomite here. So Dolomite right there, you see we've got prime defense boost, prime damage boost. Those are both ISOs right there. And for a PvP player like myself, those are very important. These are clearly the most important of the sets, right? These right here, which is 20 total primes, if you're talking each level. All right, Syndicate Spike is solid as well. You know, you have a couple of good ones here, but you have two here that will give you a boost to ISO for everything. So just something to keep in mind when you're making that decision of what you're going after. You can get 5% ISO from the Dolomite Prime for 112. Yeah, exactly what I was saying, me. Now, if you've already done that, like if you've already unlocked those, then yeah, get another 5%, right? My goal is to have, you know, about 250%, which was what I would like to have before I go into G6. There's definitely more to do, right? I just picked up the Mirror Prime, if y'all remember. And let me get this out the way so I can then pull up this again. Gosh, they are running these things. I guess there's a 35 one they won't, but I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to be in that number. But just to show you the prime I'm talking about, in the mirror tree, it's a 15% jump in ISO damage for everything. And you can get that with the prime that just came out. Here's the tricky thing, and I just want to make it clearer to everybody. The decision really lies on you. I went with a 15% ISO boost. This applies to everything in all situations. What is arguably more valuable, and I talked about this in my video, what is arguably more valuable is this: increasing the health of central entities in wave defense once wave defense starts by 2. So that takes your solo elites or your regular solo armadas. You have 3 chances, now you have 5. This is arguably more valuable to the average player than the ISO boost. But those are the top 2 that you can get. You can only pick one because they only allow you to pull enough currency for one of them. So either the prime isolitic damage or the prime wave defense central entity HHP increase. So very, very valuable. And as it says here, it will stack with other players in your wave defense. So if you had 5 people who all had this prime, all go do the waves, that's 10 more lives in a regular group wave. So very, very valuable. Very, 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 very valuable. So anyway, next up, I want somebody to shout out your level if you're in G5, and then we'll call you out and we'll take a look at your account. Anywhere in G5, doesn't have anywhere specific. So All right, Jay Forbes, Ops 56, send me your information. First one I saw, Jay Forbes, Ops 56, send it to me on Discord. We'll take a look at it. So, Joseph says, research is almost up to date. Anything else I should check off first? Have 7 of 30 pools waiting. Oh, you're looking to go 58 to 61. I would not recommend that at all. Yikes, no. No. Horrible advice. No. Get your butt to 60, pick up the epics. Get your butt to 60, pick up the epics. All right. Those Dolomite Primes, what level are those cost reductions one on yours? I am interested in seeing your ISO. Mine's 136 for Feds, 131 at Ops 58. So I don't have the Glavin, and here's where my ISO is. 176? 173 on this one, 176 on this one. So I'm in the 170s without the Glavin. So when I get the Glavin, that's immediately going up 30%. I'm sorry, 60% to 230. So... All right, so Jay Forbes, is Zero Node Police the name? Zero Node Police the name? Should I get Cloaked Racketeer? No, you should not, Luna. You should not. All right, let me go ahead and put it in here. You said you're level 56. So I'm going to put it on the screen in a second. I'm going to go find you. Okay, you definitely got some growing room. Nothing wrong with that. Well, I say that and I don't see your name. Where are you? Looking for you on the page. Where? There you go. You're 219. So you got a little bit of room, but not a lot of room. You're doing pretty good. Let's put it on the screen. All right, shout out to Jay Forbes. This is their account. So their first question, Forbes, shoot me any questions you have. First question, should I get another 56 or should I focus on artifacts to 55 before pushing to 60? Out of those two, artifacts. You're already quite strong. Again, you're 219 out of 7,000. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have room to grow because you do. Clearly you do. But you're already towards the top, depending on what your goals are. If you're like me and graduated and you want to be a top 50, that's fine. But I would say in terms of like focus points, the artifact gallery is very important. More important than a second 56. Remember, the goal that I try to get everybody into is as soon as you get to 60, you're either maxing out or tier 10ing your epics. And in literally every way, the G5 epics are superior to the G5 rares. G5 rares are cool, like the Sanctus is strong, the Sompek strong, etc. But the G5 epics have better warp range. They're significantly stronger in damage creation. They have a great hull. They have great shield. They're just good at everything. They are a much better platform for your officers, your FTs, and your CTs than a rare. So do you need a second rare? No. Heck, I didn't even pick up a second rare. I will do it retroactively, but you don't need that. So if you are choosing between what to focus on, the artifact gallery becomes the main thing there because the artifact gallery is so underrated. And because people see don't lie, the G5 rares are trash. Well, they're not trash, Ryan. I've gotten my butt whooped by too many Sanctuses and Sompeks to say they're trash. My Sompek has taken down Negvars. Yeah, level 63 uncommons. So they're not trash, but they're outclassed, right? They're outclassed. But Artifact Gallery is one of the things that gets slept on so often. And especially my G5 players, I'm really trying to mention this a lot. I want it to be one of those things where you hear the word so often, you start associating it with I've got to do it. The Artifact Gallery has so many things in here that are valuable. This is why people need to be doing Printum Formation Armadas, regular Formation Armadas, doing the ones like we're doing, even the 35s, to pick up certain benefits. And not to mention, let's just say you want to do things like your Glavin, etc. If you don't have your building at an appropriate level, you get stuck. Right? I have some of these that I'm stuck on. That one's the board cube one, never mind. Bad one to pick. But Nero's Trident. See, I need to get to Artifact Gallery 61. But where I'm currently at is an 800% bonus to all officer stats. Right? Well, we just saw the priority ones roll out and how important officer stats can be. But I've always said that Nero's Trident was one of the most important things a G6 player needed to have ready as soon as they go into G6, because G6 ships have much higher requirements to get your officer stats maxed out for the ships, so that you can get your hull bonus and your attack bonus and your mitigation bonus, right? So having the artifact gallery up to where it needs to be a priority for everybody. It's actually, spoiler, in my G6 checklist, and myself and others, because I actually talked to Tarpatube about this, and she's really big on it, right? Having the artifacts gallery at 60 before going G6 is preferable. Now, if you say, hey, that's too much time, I don't want to wait, that's completely fair. You have to make that decision for you and your account. But if we're picking what makes it the most optimal, if you're doing this every day, you're doing your pulls, there should be no reason, if you're in an active alliance, that you cannot triple pull this every time it comes up. Max that artifact gallery out. Now, Forbes asked, do you think I'm ready for my push to 60? So going by where you're at right now, I'm assuming you have a tier 7 to tier 9 56. Let me know, how are you performing on the G5 solo armadas, on the G5 solo waves? How are you doing on your augment content? And you say you set yourself up to max the D and the Rotarn from the get-go. So if you are able to do those other things I've just mentioned, then I would say, yes, you're ready. I would say, yes, you're ready. Where do you get the doofers to upgrade it? The doofers. What the heck is a doofer? But this. Now, don't forget, there are also efficiencies that make upgrading the building cheaper. But you need to do that triple pull. That is your daily pull for that currency. You also have in the mirror tree, I was trying to remember where all this stuff is painful. Yep, you have this one. You see, I still need to continue upgrading it. Yeah, we'll just use some speed ups. Yeah, a little speed ups never hurt nobody. Because who doesn't want more of that anyway? So I need to get that up so I can then take this up even further. But this helps your efficiency. This is one of the ways you can lower the cost of your artifact gallery. So that's a big one. So 30 mil augment, 60 solos, and G5 solos complete. Honestly, J4s, based on what you're telling me there, feel like you're ready to go to 60 and then get your Enterprise D and Rotarn, and then you can play a serious game of catch up and prepare that you can go into G6. I mean, it sounds like you've already made a lot of the big moves that you need to make. So kudos to that, J Forbes. You're in a good position. Again, you have a 1 bill Sanctus. Yeah, you're more than ready. Because you do want to have 3 strong ships. And one of my goals is to get people to beat the G5 Elite solos before you go into Sigma. Because that allows you to farm a lot of that mirror currency, which is a lot of good payouts for you to take advantage of. And another reason that I tell people to farm the Terran Empire, if you can do arenas on Monday nights, is that you can get all these premium mirror dust. But yeah, you sound like you're ready to go. There's no reason for you to sit at 56 unless you just want to have the bragging rights of saying, hey, I made it to, number 5 overall at 56. You're ready to move to 60. And then you can start working on all these other things that, well, we all have to get done together. We all are working on the same things. I'm going to do my Board Cube warp range. Get that boosted up. It's unlocked your Glavin. Congratulations, Warm Water. Assuming your artifact gallery is where it needs to be, and depending on your level, you can max that out today. You can max it out today. I don't know where you're at, though. And you're welcome, Forbes. Always happy to help. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the family. Thank you for being a part of the family. You amazing son of a gun. Yeah. Congrats, Warm Water, again. G6 is slow, but then I only went 61 2 days ago. Congrats, Gary, on going into Sigma. Again, as long as you're having fun, that's all I care about. My goal is to help everybody, whether you're level 35 or level 65, have fun in STFC. I know this is a controversial statement, but this is a video game and you're meant to have fun. You're meant to have fun, right? You can absolutely free to play mid and low G6 right now very easily. I just want you to have fun. As long as you're having fun, then we're happy. All right. Let's go ahead and launch one of these. Don't forget, we've also got to do Zen Deep today. But let's launch some of these armadas. The Zindy ones are sweet and juicy. Sweet and juicy. Waiting quite a while to go to 61 is what Lamar says. Maybe not as long as you said you're going to wait. There's so much to do and gas is hard to get. Well, you say that, Lamar, and yet my account is 100% ready. I'll be very open. I have said what I've said of why I stay where I stay and my goals. But if we're talking about, is my account ready for G6? My account's been ready for G6. I've got a max Rotarn. I've got a max Enterprise D. I've got a lot of my research done. So, yeah, I mean, I could definitely do it. What crew you running that armada with? Dejas, Tol-Ra, Tol-Li, and Gwen DeMarco. Just a straight cookie cutter armada crew. That's what I got on the Nemesis today. Do the con champions refresh? It's other today, and level 3 hasn't refreshed anymore. So yes, Dave, they are. You need to grab your rewards first, and then what's happening is there's a lot of problems with it bugging out. If it is bugged out and not allowing you to respawn it, you need to put in a ticket with customer support. I know that's not a great answer, but that is the answer. That is the answer. Annoying answer, yes. That's the answer. You said you're waiting for G7. I am, but Lamar, who says G7 isn't around the corner? Who says G7 isn't right around the corner? How would I max out my Glavin today? There's a timer on the pulls for it. So once you unlock the Glavin, now Warm, again, I don't know much about your account. Oh, I can upgrade my mask. Yay, more gas mining. I am so happy that happened. Go into your temporal restorations. The Glavin should be right here. Andre, good to see you. Says I'm op 67 using a tier 7 Velox. I'm trying to kill that nightmare champion. Any recommendations on a crew? I'll be honest, Andre. I don't think a tier 7 Velox can kill the nightmare. I don't think it can. I did make a video about going after the cons champions and various crews. You could try the Tau crew and see, but I just don't think you have enough hull health to survive as long as you need to. A tier 7 Velox just is really rough. I mean, it's rough for a tier 7 Crenshaw. So, but if you want to give it a try, absolutely always worth trying. There's nothing wrong with trying. So if you have some of the crews I talked about in my cons champion video, give them a try. Specifically the one that I used with Jazzbo, with Tau, try it out. But I can't imagine in today's game right now, a 66 rare beating the Nightmare. The Nightmares have insane mitigation and piercing stats. They've got wicked amounts of hull health. You really need a beefy ship that can survive several rounds to make it, right? Like Thor saying their tier 13 can't do it. I really don't think a rare in today's game can. Now, a year from now, that's very different. A year from now, it probably can, because this game power creeps a lot. It power creeps a lot. But if we're talking like doable, yeah, it's doable. It's doable. What are the sources of temporal disruptors? Right here. Maxing out temporal artifacts, and then as you get more of them, you then turn them in for temporal disruptors. That's how you get, I mean, there's multiple ways, but that's the primary way to get temporal disruptors. It's like I have 28 of these chronoton samples, which would turn into, I'll just do it for the sake of showing you the math, 2,520 temporal disruptors, right? And then as you max out more of these, you then get more temporal disruptors. So maxing these out, you see I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 of them maxed out. And that's how you get the temporal disruptors needed so that you can then do all this stuff afterwards, because you also have to get the remnants and it's a whole thing. But you want to max out the Great Eye of Ra. Well, this is part of the process of maxing out the Great Eye of Ra. You get the temporal disruptors, you get more of the other artifacts maxed, and then you go into the refinery. It's a little convoluted, I know, but then you go into the refinery and you can turn those temporal disruptors into temporal remnants, and those remnants are what you use to go up to tier 12 of your artifacts. A little bit of a complicated system. This was not the most intuitive system they came up with because the menus aren't even in the same place. Shout out Major Sama, who's still cursing the fact that this entire system exists, but is what it is. But to upgrade the temporals, you need temporal remnants, and to do that, you need temporal disruptors. And to do temporal disruptors, you need to max out the temporal artifacts. And to max out the temporal artifacts, you have to use the other temporal artifacts to get more temporal disruptors. Use temporal disruptors to upgrade the artifacts, because you don't want to pull this unless you've actually got the 5 times temporal artifacts, because there's actually a worse conversion rate of temporal artifacts to temporal remnants if you've not done all the temporal remnants maxing. Yeah, not exactly an easy system. It's a real painful process, but yeah. I love this game. Oh boy, you can clip that if you want, if anybody wants that quick 60 seconds of Rev giving himself an aneurysm. Slower version for those who listening. So here's the process. There are temporal artifacts. To start working on temporal artifacts, you do your temporal rare exchange, which means you're grinding the silence. That's also going to help you get these right here, that main currency we're talking about, which is the temporal disruptors. You use temporal disruptors to increase how quickly you unlock temporal artifacts. So for example, I have not maxed out my Orb of Prophecy and Change. Once I get my Orb, Prophecy, and Change to tier 8, right, level 8, it maxes out, and then it needs a new currency to take it higher. That new currency is temporal remnants. Temporal remnants are like the regular artifact remnants, except specifically used for temporal artifacts. See how I have regular artifact remnants for the regular ones, and then I use that to max these out. So you then ask, well, how do I get temporal remnants? Great question. You get temporal remnants by maxing out these first. Why do we wait? Now, I don't have it on my screen anymore. I'll have to grab a screenshot because y'all are right. This deserves a video because it is too convoluted. But you go into the Artifacts Refinery and you see how you have this temporal disruptor, but see at the very top, the gold bar says 5 level 8 temporal artifacts. Well, there's actually a conversion rate that is worse when you don't have 8 of them. So you kind of want to save your temporal disruptors until you have 5 of them at level 8, and then you start spamming. Like I'll turn in 30,000 of these to then get my temporal remnants, and now I can use temporal remnants to max out temporal artifacts and take them to level 12, which is what I did with the Great Eye of Ra. This is the process of the Glavin. You use temporal conduits, use temporal disruptors to take it to tier 8. Then once it's tier 8, use temporal remnants to max it out, giving you a 60% boost. That's what I'll be doing in 3 days. That's when the video comes out if you are curious. I'm waiting for the Glavin, and then I'll use the Glavin to explain the process. So, But yeah, it is incredibly convoluted. I am not a fan of that because of how confusing it is. And I know there's many players out there in G6 right now who have not maxed out their Great Eye of Ra or other temporals because this loop is so confusing. So don't feel bad if you're out there like, this is insane. You are absolutely correct. This is insane. So it is insane. But I'm letting you know how it works. I'm letting you know how it works. That was the great currency arc of 2023. Yeah. 2023, they got a little, well, let's just say what it is. They got ridiculous with all the things they were doing, especially when it comes to currencies. So. Jump into this Zindi rare. Red's been shaming on stream for years. Yes. I am. Let's see. Adams Rotarin. I mean, 2.6, that's not shame-worthy. It's smaller than mine, but I mean, it's not shame-worthy. I mean, it is a level 64, so I guess it is kind of a little shame-worthy, but I mean, that's not terrible. I've seen level 64s who don't even have a 2 billion power Rotarin, okay? So, yeah, Adam, don't worry about it. That's not shame-worthy. I mean, it's not great, but it's definitely not bad. It's definitely not bad at all. Yeah. Dude, I've seen way worse. I've seen way worse. Yeah. How do you get artifact schematics to upgrade your artifact building? By doing the pull every day. That is the main way. So you got to come in here, artifact restoration. You want to triple pull this every day. It's why you can ask Adam. I bug IA to do formation armadas all the time. It probably gets on their nerves, but you want to be able to pull this. Triple pull it every time. That's what you want to do. You want to triple pull that every time, so that you can get what you need, max it out. As you see, I'm very close to taking this to 60. It gives you your artifact token bonus, another whole health and shield bonus, but more importantly, it's just simply going to allow you to max out more of these artifacts. Correct, and the uncommons comms are how you grind that currency. So Crenum formations, but still wanting to do regular formations because you need that currency to make these pulls happen. So you see, I've got plenty of growing room when it comes to a lot of these artifacts. Now I could go take the Jalil up because that's going to help you in wave defense, by the way. But yeah. Claim your help. There you go. I hit my help button, Patrick. How many shards does your Glavin take to unlock? Great question there, Davey. Because again, this is going to be based on things like the Great Eye of Ra, but don't forget there are other artifact efficiencies like Fleet Commander Lorca has an artifact efficiency. So my Glavin needs 55 shards to unlock. You might have more, you might have less. Depends on how much artifact efficiency you have chased after. So just a reminder, Lorca has this one up here. That's a 20% bonus, and then my Eye of Ra provides a bonus, which lowers my overall cost of unlocking and maxing those items. So, is it a good idea for level 31 to be getting Spore Drive parts in the event store, or should I be focusing on primes or something else? Now, I'll say this, Cloud. I will always say primes are more important. That said, the discovery is one of the longest, more painful grinds in the game, so you picking up components to upgrade that faster is not a bad decision. So, also, I've got to make a funny at Scopely real quick. I've got to make a funny. Hold on, everybody. Hold your shorts. Scopely is celebrating something that I find absolutely hilarious. Okay. Humble said to me, but Scopely just announced, hey, everybody, guess what? We just put out packs that you can do a second Reliant and max it out. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I am not. This is a literal post that just dropped 18 minutes ago. We have just launched the second Reliant unlock packs. We've also made some updates to the store to help with upgrades. To make sure you can grab the right parts for your second Reliant, all rarities are now visible ops. Hold on. Here's the great news, everybody. Now, thanks to Scopely's wonderful generosity, sorry, Humble, I'm going to show you for a second. You can now go buy these packs, and it'll only cost you 2,900 American dollars to max out your second Reliant. Please, ladies and gentlemen, our kids need new yachts. All right? If you're not buying, we don't have more yachts. My kid only has a 37-foot yacht. He needs a 64-foot yacht so that he can take that yacht to his 200-foot yacht. Please buy more Reliants and max them out for the low, low cost of 2,900 American dollars. Thank you very much. Oh, man. This is an opportunity for me to plug myself, by the way. You can, for $2,900, buy a second Reliant and give the money to Scopely. Or you can donate to Rev for as little as $5. I don't care. Every little bit helps me and my family. You can also sign up to support us monthly. And if you support us monthly, you can be helping us give away battle passes. That's one of the things that we do with our monthly donations. So PayPal, Venmo, Cash App are now in the chat. Everything helps. Remember, I can't do what I do without your love and support. Greatly appreciated. And if you're interested in sponsoring Battle Pass giveaways, because those come from you, the players now, hit me up. And I'll let you know how that process works. We also have a special thank you that we're going to be doing for all those who help sponsor Battle Pass giveaways. Big shout out to all of y'all. If you're thinking, hey, how can I throw away money? I've got 3 beautiful kids that matter a lot more than those kids over in the $2,900 Reliant area. And I'm biased, and I admit it. There you go. Live long and plunder. For a little $5 a day, you too can support a content creator for STFC. Hey, if anybody's willing to do $5 a day for me, thank you. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. How much Reliant cargo looting are we going to need? Well, I mean, go out and OPC hunt some Reliants, man. That's what I do. I just showed off my best Reliant hit, and I got it yesterday. Like, if this doesn't get you giddy, then I don't know if we can be friends. Look at this. Look at that loot. 4 million rare, 4.5 million uncommon, 20.5 million common. Like, wow. Holy heck. That's a heck. That's a hit. That's a hit. Shout out to all the level 70s out there who do spend the money to allow me to hit Reliance that are that big. So, yay. Awesome. Joys of Rev not having an NDA, thus not giving 2 hecks about what he says about Scopely. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily think I said anything wrong. I just think it's kind of silly to make, again, this is my opinion. I'm allowed to have opinions. But I think it's really silly to make a post on the official Discord, which has over 100,000 STFC players, for you to say, hey, everybody, we just released packs so that you can spend $2,900 and get a second Reliant and max it out. I don't feel like that is a good post. It's an opinion, right? I've also just praised them, right? I just praised them saying they did a good job with the event store. They've done some good things, but that's such a silly thing to me. I think that's silly. All right, we got a question about the Eviscerator real quick I want to grab, and then we also need to take a look at another player's account. Gorn Eviscerator. 1 second. I'm going to pull up the spreadsheet. Yay, spreadsheets. Well, dang it. Where's the spreads? Hey, Chrono, are you still there? Somebody shoot me or Meme. Can you shoot me the Eviscerator spreadsheet real quick? So we can put this on the screen and show the parts payout, because there's not only a tier lock on what the Eviscerator pays out, there's also an ops lock. So I'm going to put that on the screen to show everybody what it does. Yeah. My cat says I cannot buy a second Reliant as she needs food. Sorry, Scopa. That's completely fair, Joanne. Thank you for being here, by the way. Appreciate you. Advice on sourcing Epic Elite credits. Epic Elite credits. Are you talking about the Con Elite stuff? That's by doing the repeatables? Or are you talking about the Elite currency for the augment grind? Which Elite are we referring to? Yeah, I mean, that's why I want the spreadsheet, so I can show everybody the difference. Mika Day's enjoying the second Reliant jokes. Hey, look, if we can't crack jokes at Scopely, who can we crack jokes at? Well, it's in my volunteer charge channel, dang it, Meme. Make yourselves useful. Buy Lanta. Buy Lanta, Meme. Come on. Appreciate you, buddy. I really do. Thank you. What are your thoughts about using full relativity groups when doing the Crenum formations? Don't see the need. I mean, I guess if you're just a whole bunch of G6 players who maxed out your relativities, sure, go for it. It does get a loot bonus. So, but I don't feel like that's realistic. Like, is it designed to work like that? Yeah, very similar to how the Stella works. But at the same time, there's just not enough people who have that. And here's my concern. If alliances start making that a rule, that's just going to end up hurting low levels who either don't have the relativity or it's like ridiculously low tiered. So I'm not a fan of that. Yes, long term, was it meant to be used kind of like a Stella? You're right. Yeah, because there's bonuses. If you go and do your research, there's a research specifically for the relativity to improve its loot drops. I get all that, but yeah, we're talking about really big numbers and really big ships. I think it's better to just take people to the furthest warp range they can reach and launch those. That's my thoughts. There will probably come a day where I change that advice. I just don't feel like the greater game is there yet. So, and if y'all think I'm wrong, let me know. Oh, we got another one. Yay! You only need 2 relativities. You do. You need 2. But keep in mind, Admiral Pegasus, even though you only need 2 relativities, you still got to defeat the third leg to get full rewards. And that third leg is a real pain, and it pays out half the stuff. So, Alexi says maybe instead of trying to get more money from whales, they should make the ship faster source and prey on those who unlock it free to play with upgrade packs. Honestly, if people are going to free to play the ship, they're very unlikely to buy an upgrade pack. People who free to play ships are people who buy more things like passes, right? So, people who buy passes. So, let's see. Sometimes that means, at the end of the day, alliances should be trying to make sure everyone's getting the loot they need. Sometimes that means all relativity groups. Sometimes it doesn't. And look, again, I'm saying this from being an IA. Adam's here, right? Adam's got that baby Rotar, and he wants to be made fun of because Adam's a masochist, right? He really enjoys it when you make fun of him. Everybody make fun of Adam. Say, Adam, your Roddy's really tiny. But this is the #1 alliance in the game. And we don't even do, hey, you got to bring a relativity. So, again, just find what works for you. There's no wrong answer. If your alliance wants to do that, completely fine. But you do you. Uncapped, good to see you. Says newbie kind of question. If you use Discovery to get into a token system, can it warp other ships in there at no cost? Well, not no cost. You can summon ships there using the Discovery summon ability, but it will cost you that summoning ability. But yes, you can summon ships back into a system, even if they don't have the warp range, using a Discovery. but you have to pay the summoning cost to do that and have to have unlocked summoning. Thank you to the man, the myth, the legend, Chrono, who went and found the spreadsheet so I could show you all the Gorn Eviscerator stuff. Spreadsheet, 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 spreadsheet. Whee! All right, so here's your refinery. Like I said, it depends on your ops level for what you're getting paid out. So if you had a tier 10 Eviscerator, you're still getting G4 parts. See? Even at tier 10, if you're below Op 61. If you're a G6 player, you stop getting G4 and you start getting G6. Took you a few iterations to find. I get you, man. But for the Gorn Eviscerator question, there you go. The Rift is the way to go versus Disco. The Rift is definitely great. Like, I don't have an issue with the Rift, but Rift is still something that most people don't really have access to. So, at least not in a deep ranging way, because it takes a long time to upgrade it. You have tier 9 Gorn and lost all G4? What do you mean, Pegasus? But anyway, as far as the Eviscerator Refinery goes, we do have the spreadsheet in my Discord. It's in the volunteer charts channel of the Discord. And yeah, there is all the stuff. So if you have a tier 10 Eviscerator, as long as you're below Op 61, as long as you're still in G5, you will get G4 parts. So, happy to help, Gary. That's the job. Man, I'm blessed to have it. I'm blessed to have it. I'm mooching right now, but I actually don't have the ability to launch those. All right, let me speed this, paste on a request from Helly. All right, so see, this is level 56 that wants a little bit of help, so we're going to speed it so we can then go and do his down here. I'm also going to cloak so I can get that cloaking daily done, because those are some researches that I've still not finished. Is IA still #1 game-wide? Good question, because there's a lot of great alliances in the game, by the way. Like, when I say IA is #1, it's because we typically are #1. As of right now, actually, we dropped to #2. Dragons on server 16 has retaken the #1 spot. And again, there's shifting, there's variance, so shout out to Dragons on 16. When I looked last week, IA was back at #1. It honestly just varies. So, you're a bit ticked with G6 not having freebooters, so now I have to go grind faction shifts for your dailies. Well, freebooters are coming to G6 this year, just you gotta wait a few months. Probably just you holding IA back. Yeah, Adam, if you didn't have such a weak Rotar, and IA would still be #1. Yeah, Adam. Wow. Wow, Adam. Great job. Howdy, Sugar Fat Man. Welcome in. All right, let's do another player. If you are in lower G5 and would like some recommendations, shoot your level real quick. We'll grab you. I do like doing these. We've not done a lot today, but we've also had a lot of really good questions from y'all and helping y'all find some, like, I would say, you know, intricate and underrated parts of the game, like the Glavin trick, right? So if you're out there, you're in lower G5, shout your level out. We'll grab you, and we'll take a look at where you're at. Seth, you're first. Seth, level 53. Shoot me on Discord your player information and whatever questions you have, and we'll try to get those answered. Is there a way to speed up promoting and leveling FCs, or is it just going to be super slow? I mean, you still have to click the button, but if you do the feature in here, which is this, disable frequent game animations, that can speed up how quickly it goes, but you still got to do all the clicks. There's not like a slider way to do it. That would be nice, but there's not a slider. Also, that's confusing. That's the Formation Armada circle showing up. So. I've always followed you. I think the power discrepancy you will find hilarious. Well, Tarkus, shoot it to me on Discord, because we've got to grab Seth first. And depending on time, we might not have time for another one. But we've been doing this every Wednesday. I do apologize for only getting to 3 people today. But, like I said, y'all brought up a lot of really good topics. And I think when those come up, we definitely should talk about them. So, yeah. All right, let's see. Other questions? Adam, what's wrong with your lower retard? Thank you, Dustin. Dustin's who's a, like, what would you say, Dustin? You're level 22? I love having level 22 Shama 64. Like, It makes me happy. This is good stuff. Good stuff. Sliders on everything without cooldowns. Oh, comms. We can dream of such a perfect world. Which mirror prime do you think is better? 50% ISO or central entity health? That, again, I talked about that earlier. That's really up to the player. Me personally, ISO damage, but I'm a PvP player, right? I'm a PvP player. If I was coming at it from a general player perspective, I would say waves. But I want as much ISO as I can get because I want to dominate in arenas on Monday night. It just depends on the player. Took my Revenant to Mark III. Could do the 63.2s. Yeah, you absolutely can, Darksmith. I can do those. Right? Like I do the 60.2s with my Revenant. Coming on down here to our Continuum space. This is where I go to farm with my ship. I don't even need boosting. I can do it without boost. The 60.2. So if I can do it, you should be able to do it as well. What level is your Book of Coast Emojin? Do you like that artifact? Do I like the Book of Coast Emojin? Yes. There are a lot of things that give this now, but I've got it maxed out for my level, which is 1800%. I need Artifact Gallery 61, so I gotta be a G6 player to take it up any further. Do I like it? Yeah. I definitely push everybody to do the Eye of a Ra first and get it maxed out, but I do like it. All right, Seth, gotcha. I don't need your player ID, I just need your player name. And then I need you to shoot me whatever questions you have. Just Discord me what questions you have, and we'll take a look. Let's see. All right. Wow, doing pretty good, man. I mean, you've got stronger power than some 56s. So take that as a compliment. Let's go ahead and grab you. So for 53s, let's see where you're ranking. Don't worry, I'll put it up on the screen. So you're 815. I mean, not at the very top, but you're still doing pretty good. Of 4,000. I mean, you're in the top 25%. You got to take that as a huge win. There you go. Any help I can get would be nice. Well, whatever questions you got, I'll tell you what some of the things I think you should focus on. So you're already doing solid. Again, at 53, that is a level that most people camp. So one thing that I would recommend is you want to have your special ships done, as in like the Voyager, the Monavine. I want you to have maxed those, right? Because I want you to have mastered them and you're pulling them in the mastery. So that's a big one. I want you to master the ships that you can master and start pulling those, because that's going to help you out a lot long term. Not to mention take away some headache of things that you don't really want to bother with doing. As far as ships, you don't really need to take a 53 uncommon past tier 5. Remember my 5, 7, 9 rule. Tier 5 will handle all the PvE you need. Tier 7, if you just want a little bit extra oomph, reach deeper armadas. And tier 9, if for some reason you want to go real P heavy with it, but you don't really need that. At 53, you're more focusing on special ships and more focusing on research. So your mirror research, really big. I would encourage you as a 53, if you can, on Monday nights, be in PvP arenas, just because there's so many good things in that tree that you can unlock. And because it gives you the premium mirror currency, that's really going to help elevate your gameplay for everything, PvE, PvP, etc. Now, other researches that you need to do, the new away teams. So because you're a G5 player, one of the things that I want you to do that I assume our 56 and 60 player already did, is you need to unlock rare priority 1 away teams. That should be your focus if you've not done it already. All the currency you should be getting from your away teams should be pointing you towards that, because you want to unlock the rares, because that is the sweet spot for juicy payouts. So that is a big goal for you. You should also be farming the G4 Elite Solo and completing it. Now, it is possible to do the G5, but you don't switch to do G5 Elites until you can beat Wave 4 or Wave 3. You might, depending on where you're at, because again, you're not in the very top of 53s. You probably aren't making it that deep into the G5 Elite Solos just yet, but you should be farming the G4 Elite Solos, and you should be able to beat those. If you can't, that's probably going to be a crew thing, and we need to work on your crewing. But at 53, you should be farming the G4 Elite Solo waves for all the goodies that they provide. That's gonna be a big one for you. Also, Formation Armadas that I just harped on. If you can't tell, that's a theme. But Formation Armadas, you need help with those, talk to your alliance. You should be doing the group ones, like the Crenum Formation ones, and the uncommon ones, so that you continue to upgrade those buildings. Those are big. Let's reclaim this screen. So let's talk about research real quick at 53. I want you to have finished your outlaw, doing as much as you can with territory. But remember, you really want to get down here, and hopefully you're in an alliance that has chronometric particles, because these are good researches. I still am not done with them because I need more chronometric particles. Hey, IA, turn on the freaking chrono redeems. But you want to pull these because this is more ISO damage. You need this ISO damage. You can start working on this here in G5 especially. Hopefully at 53, if you haven't already, you're working on maxing out the star path. Remember, these three and this one are the most important. Those are the four most important. These three and this one. Then after those, you can start working on the other ones. You see, I still have not done the burning mitigation one, but that's super, super important, super valuable. Mirror tree, max it out for what you can do at 53, but I still recommend not tanking your mirror refinery advancement past 4. As you can see, this does not lock away any other research. I can still do all the other researches, but keep my costs low on my refines, which personally I found is a huge win. Some people out there might disagree. Feel free to chime in if you do. Mirror tree, something you really want to invest in, which means also investing in your NSEA. So, you're stronger than Seth. I'm glad you're proud of yourself, Warspell. I'm proud of you too. I know you were looking for me to be proud of you, but I'm proud of you as well. So, that's heckin' awesome. Good job. Good job. All right. Any other questions you have, Seth? Because those are just like the main things I want you to hit on. Now, I want you doing Formation Armadas. I want you doing the Elite Solos. I want you to get that 53 uncommon to tier 5, maybe tier 7. You don't really need anything more than that because your 56s and eventually your 60s are going to be keep. I would also encourage you, one more thing. If you did not pick up a 50 epic, pick it up now. Okay? If you did not pick up a 50 epic, pick it up now. You need that epic. Work on maxing it out. So when you get to 60, you can then turn that into a free Enterprise D Rotaran to Daradex. You're going to want to have those epics. If you're following this strategy, it's going to put you in a position where you are not feeling pain for the next 13, 14 levels. And that's what I really want to give everybody, a pain-free gaming experience. That way, if you do decide to spend money on Star Trek Fleet Command, and I get it, the game is tempting. I mean, who doesn't want to spend money on STFC? I know I'll wake up every morning going, man, if I only I could win the lottery and then blow it all on Star Trek Fleet Command. So if you're out there thinking the same thing, well, to do that, I want you to make those purchases because you're enjoying the game and you don't need it, but you're doing it because you want to, not because you feel like you have to. So look at all these packs. Just so many packs. So many packs. So many. But make those decisions for you. I do like the $10 ones. You know, now as you buy more of these, the price goes up on your weekly packs. You can see I've not been buying them, but I do like that they have lower price points in the game. I do want to give Scopely a shout out for that because they have made an effort to have more $20, $50, and $10 options. I'm not saying there's a lot of them, but they have made an effort to put those in, and I do want to compliment them for that. So shout out to Scopely, right? I know Rev said shout out to Scopely. He's a dirty darn shill, but I do want to thank them. I know they just threw $2,900 out of Reliant on us, but truly I do appreciate having some lower price points. That's nice. Suspect says, anyone recommend my next ship after the Coronar or Pylum? Level 50 Epic. Doesn't matter if it's your Enterprise E, your Enterprise A, Tribune, or Hegta. That's your next one. Get that level 50 Epic. If you win the lottery, you're coming up to Vancouver to visit? Yeah, absolutely. If I win the lottery, I might move to Vancouver because what everybody does when they win the lottery is find ways to lose their money as quickly as possible. And I can't think of a better way to lose all my money than going to Vancouver. So yeah. Before we roll out, though, we've got to go take a look. It's in a book. It's OPC Rainbow. We got to go see if we can find some OPC. Take a look. It's in a book. OPC Rainbow. Yeah. I have never spent more than $20 on the game. Haven't spent anything in a while because the game plays so poorly most of the time. Yeah, that's your choice, Lamar. Absolutely. And again, I tell people all the time, I'll appreciate your donation a heck of a lot more than Scopely will. I've got 3 kids. Y'all are how I support them. Thank you very much for that, for loving on me and my family. Greatly appreciate every single one of you. Thank y'all for being here. Y'all are awesome. Also, Chrono, I don't know if you saw, but I've got a special STFC statistics piece coming to my house, and I'm very excited about it. Don't know if you saw that, but I'm very excited about it. So, but yeah, Suspect, would definitely recommend you pick up the Epics, man. I've been Saying it for a while now, but it is so valuable, so important. Looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to it. It's the 80s style, man. I'm loving the idea of it. We'll see how it looks on me when I get it. But yeah. Get 40% more money coming to Canada, but then I'd be in Canada. Sorry. I'm just allergic to communism. Love you, Crush. Hope y'all are well. That's more of our Twitch content. We will be streaming on Twitch. We're starting with War Thunder today. And then we'll have STFC as well. If you want to come hang out with us, I do encourage you. We have an amazing community. I want y'all to come check us out. Love y'all and appreciate y'all. We're about to wrap up. I want to see if we can find some OPC first. But if y'all have questions, get them in now before we finish up. Get your questions in now if you have them. Now's the time. Oh, you got one as well, Patrick? Very nice. Yeah, I try to have a piece of merch from every content creator. I actually have CDB's Find That Officer sticker on my vitamin thing, whatever you call this container. Yeah, words are hard. Words are hard. So I've got Samo merch. I've got lube merch. I've got crystal merch. I've got lots of merch. So, all right, let's see. We got any OPC in here? We're looking. Anybody OPC? Nobody's even in here. Oh, we do have that though. We might have to send some backup for it. We'll send some backup. Let's go take a look on our Enterprise. Any OPC in here? No. Oh, another freaking beetle. Oh, my Lanta. These ships are not made for fighting beetles. These are not my beetle fighting ships. All right, that one got boomed on. Oh, my Lanta. I don't have my beetle fighting ships. Was this an instant? Yep, I got instant. Oh my, did I get double instant? Or if those ships are probably too weak to beat them. Yeah, there's 2 beetles in there though. I don't have a freaking ship handy. Oh no. Oh, I can send it to Daradex. Hold on. Uno momento. Por favor, ladies and gentlemen. This is important business. Daradex, I choose you. There's 2 of them out there. It's gonna take me 3 minutes. So more time with Rev. Did you thought about live YouTubing more often or longer? No, I did not. If y'all want to have more longer live streams, it's over on Twitch. So Lorca on my small account. What's the best way to get the SP? The Vindicator pays out SP for Lorca every single day. You can also get it in event stores. So also a big shout out to Quincy. Quincy just donated $10 to the family. Thank you for the love and support, supporting me and the kids. I'm going to put it up on the board real quick. Thank you. I can't say thank you enough because that's how we pay the bills, quite literally. So thank you. Anybody that chooses to donate and support me and my family, eternal gratitude. So we put that in. Big shout outs. Update the board. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. You can dual stream, so watch Twitch and YouTube at the same time because there's different requirements for both. And it's just not better for me to stream on YouTube. Simple as that. I could not do on YouTube what I do on Twitch. Put it that way. On server 703, people are throwing such a fit over Reliant OPC hunting, trying to make it against Roe. We need help. All I can say, Rocky, is that's literally how the game was designed. Like, you're supposed to hunt at OPC, and if people are crying about it, I don't know really what to say beyond that. Like, y'all can do whatever you want as a community, but Rev's going to hunt them OPC no matter what. Exhibit A. You're not going to stop me from doing this. Yeah. You can call me a whale rogue. You can call me a I don't know why I call me a whale. You can call me a rogue. You can call me a pirate. You can say I'm breaking Roe. I really don't care. OPC is OPC. Anybody who doesn't agree can have a discount to my t-shirt on my website, revduce.com. I will send you a discounted OPC is OPC t-shirt. I'm not going to stump hunting Reliance. It's literally the design of the game. Get over it. All right, let's see if the cube can grab this. I did not load the cube out with a good crew, but we'll see what happens. Rocky, the best thing I can say, the best thing that you can do, like if you want OPC hunting to happen, then just do it. The more people that do it, they can't do anything about it. Right? They can't. You can't do anything about it. Like if 40 people decide to OPC hunt Reliance, you're not stopping it. It only works. Here's the thing with Roe. Roe's not enforceable. It's only enforceable under the threat of everybody hating you. But if other people are doing it, as in like you're OPC hunting, then there's no reason to fear. Just do it. Just go out and do it. And the more people who do it, no big deal. The problem with OPC hunting is it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, well, we can't do it because Rose says so. Okay, well, that's why you can't do it. Just go do it. And if everybody's doing it, you can't tell everybody in the game to stop doing it. Now, again, I'm not saying that you should be rogue and clear systems. I'm not saying inconvenience people. I'm saying OPC is OPC, and that's the design of the game. Like, yeah. Rev has opinions. Nah. Know what I miss? That catchy You Got Wreckmate song? That's on Twitch, DeCourcy. We play it on Twitch all the time. Yeah, that song is on Twitch. And we got another one. Woo, we got multiple beetles. Yay. I love beetles. Let's go see if there's one in here real quick. Been doing it on my server. No one to say anything about it. Yeah, I have found that if you OPC hunt people, but you're not like a complete butt face to people, like you're kind, you don't be sarcastic, you don't like rub their noses in it, people don't mind, right? I've only got 2 or 3 people on this server that complain, and I've been OPC hunting for years. Yeah, just treat people with respect. Should work out fine. Oh, there we go. I need this. Sugar Fat Man says, I don't like getting hit OPC, so I don't go OPC. Simple as that. There you go. I go OPC all the time, and if I get hit, oh, no, well, no big deal. Oh, well. I just repair it, send it back out. That's what I do. Let's see if we can find another trader in here so I can make everybody jealous. I just got 2 of them. Let's see if we can find another one. Yep, look, right there. Rev's got some RNG today, ladies and gentlemen. Rev's got some RNG today. We're finding all the traders. Finding no OPC, though. But we're finding traders. Salty players is making sure the loot is properly seasoned. There you go. Maybe don't say that to them in the DM, but yeah, there you go. Got to get someone who rated my base earlier OPC for a good amount. Well, that's the thing. Like, I hit that hit that I just showed y'all OPC on DMFL. You know what they did? They rated my base that same day. Now, I didn't really care. You know, IA is, Adam can tell you, IA rated me when I was in Epic, and I was like, dude, I really don't care if I get rated. It's whatever. I've got oodles and gaboodles of resources. No big deal. But that's fair game. Like, I got rated, and they have bragging rights on that. They can now go and say, yeah, Rev, you took 30 million currency, but we took, they probably got over 100 trillion from me just because I didn't care. But still, it's a bragging right. Whether or not I care doesn't really matter. They did it, and they can brag about it now. They took, I think, 100 trillion off of me yesterday. Good on them. That's the game. That's exactly how the game should be played. I hit you OPC, you come find my base, use that Voyager base finding ability, find my base, and come teach me a lesson. That's how the game should be. And I applaud DMFL and other players playing that way. I absolutely applaud them. Dinwit said, had a 63 get mad when I hit him OPC because I was such a low level. He farmed my Reliant UPC until his KDR was back. Okay. Don't often hear people caring about that, but okay. Ooh, is this guy OPC? Nope, summoner. All right. Keep it moving. See if we can find anything. Daniel says, I have people like, why don't you shield? I'm like, I have tons of resources and reserves. But see, the big thing is, I did care more until I've already maxed my G5 epics. Now that I've maxed my G5 epics, I don't really need any of that. Yes, I will still use Tritanium when I go into G6, but mostly what I'm going to need is Sigma stuff, right? So if you raid 200 trillion par still off of me right now, as long as it doesn't happen during incursions, I really don't care. Incursions, I will make sure to stay shielded. But like, yeah, I mean, realistically, where my account is right now, if I lose 200 trillion par still, it doesn't matter. No big deal. Right? It's just the game pays out so much of that. And now that I have finished my ship upgrading, I no longer am having to like micromanage the Tritanium. So again, no big deal. And that's just the game. So Do you know you can convert materials to Sigma materials? Yeah, I do. Yeah. I was one of the main people fighting for the tax to get removed. Yep. Laundry and cleaning the kitchen. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. We got to keep a clean house. I hate a dirty, messy house. I was picking up trash and stuff before I started stream. I hate me a dirty house. The other day, I think I got hit a guy because they racked my USS Baby Jelly. I got my Kira and took the player out and thanked them for their cargo in their cargo bay. That is good gameplay. That is good gameplay. Nope, John, I'll be completely fine, dude. I don't want it. Don't care. Don't need it. I'll be A-okay. Yeah, it says I have like 7 trillion in par sale right now, just alone, not including in tokens. Yeah, see my tokens, I've got several hundred trillion par steel, several trillion titanium, and several trillion dilithium. So Daniel says, I do admit that I don't understand the DTI thing and I'm having trouble with it, but events store helped me with getting the NSCA. Good. Oh, slow. Get this guy. Wow. I gotta see this one. I gotta finish upgrading my beam. Now I gotta wait for the stinking timer. Because if I hit it, you know my luck, it's gonna 30% me. Because I don't have a Reliant. Right? So I've got to do this the old-fashioned way. All right, how long does this freaking take? I forgot how long the timer is. My Atlanta, hurry the heck up. I'm gonna get bloated up. I'm gonna get bloated up. There we go. There we go. Now we got the goodies. And let's go ahead and send this home. All right. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We do have to wrap up for the day. Lots of cool stuff coming tonight. If you want to come take a look at the stream, I encourage you to come spend some time with us. I love you and appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for those who supported the channel. Thank you for those who've donated. Thank you for those who liked the video. Subscribe. And I will see y'all later today. Hit me up on Discord if you need to say anything. Live long and plunder. Stay safe out there. Deuces. Catch you in the next one.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.
Also, suck it, Florida. I don't like you, but you took down Canada and you deserve praise. Great job, Florida. You're American again. We claim you. We're not worried about your meth addicts. Canada sucks at hockey. Go, Florida. Woo, yay, Panthers.